If you would like to know how to keep your microbiome healthy and not end up getting overgrown with fungus, you clicked on the right video. Hi, I'm Dr. Cori Stern, and welcome to my channel, Take Control of Your Health. I decided I needed to do a fungus video because all of a sudden I'm seeing so many people come in with problems related to an overgrowth of fungus. So I wanted to talk to you about how that can happen, why it can happen, and exactly what you need to do to prevent this from happening to you. So the first thing I want to let you know is that fungus is a pathogen that is actually a normal part of your body. It's actually a creature that normally lives in your body, but the problem is when you end up getting an imbalance of too much of one kind versus another. And some fungus are good for you and helpful and help your health. And then other kinds actually cause all kinds of health issues and symptoms. So, what kind of symptoms you can get from overgrowth of fungus depends on the different types of fungus and where it's affecting you. One of the more common ways that fungus affects you negatively is with skin issues, skin rashes, itchy skin rashes, and that can express itself as athlete's foot or jock-ish or something called thrush, which is candida in your mouth and overgrowth of candida. So you have white stuff in your mouth, vaginal yeast infections, toenail fungus, ringworm. Did I say jock itch? Um, and then seborrheic dermatitis, which is another kind of, itchy, flaky patches, flaky red patches on your skin and possibly on your scalp as well. So those are just some of the skin types of expression or mucous membrane expressions of an overgrowth of fungus. But you can also have a systemic overgrowth, and then you can experience a lot of different very unpleasant symptoms like fatigue and brain fog and bloating. So let's talk about how you end up at that point and what you can do to prevent it. So most people know what a microbiome is, but let's just define it a little better. You literally have trillions of little friends living inside your body that are a combination of different bacteria, fungus, yeast, parasites, and they provide your body with many important functions. But a lot of people think of it in terms of digestion, but it's way more than that. It's it has an effect on even on your emotions. Your microbiome can affect your choices in life. It can affect your thoughts, right? It's a much more integrated part of you than most people realize. And it's kind of like everywhere. It's not just in your gut. These little creatures live in your lungs, in your urogenital area, your kidneys, your there's even some evidence that they're in your brain. And one of the problems that we're running into right now in our world is that we're killing them off. There's supposed to be hundreds and hundreds of different species of these healthy little creatures living in us, and we're literally causing an extinction event. We're doing things that kill them. Some of the things that kill off those good guys, poor diet, especially when it's high in sugar. So a high sugar diet will feed the bad guys. For example, Candida will thrive on sugar. We can never get rid of it if we're feeding it, if we're feeding it a lot of sugar. Toxins, when you have a lot of exposure to toxins, whether that's chemicals or heavy metals, your immune system is suppressed, and that allows an overgrowth of bad stuff. Stress can create an imbalance in your microbiome. Antibiotics and other medications, antibiotics literally kill them, right? So antibiotics are supposed to be killing bad bacteria that's making you sick, but it also kills good bacteria that you need. And it doesn't just grow back. It doesn't just come back on its own. You actually have to fix it. You have to do something about it. And the other thing I want to mention is mold exposure. So mold is a form of fungus. And when you're inhaling mold, you end up with an overgrowth of bad fungus inside your body. So talk a little bit about prevention. Um, and some of the things I just said, it becomes obvious that you need to eat a clean diet. You need to avoid eating food with chemicals that's high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, because you're just setting the stage to kill off your microbiome. And I say this probably on every video, every health issue I talk about, we always start with a clean, nutrient-dense diet and reduce your exposure to toxins. If you haven't seen it yet, on my website, I have an article about everyday items you never knew were toxic. So that's a good starting point to just look at that and see if you can begin the process of changing some of the things you do on a daily basis that you may not realize are poisoning you. Just keep it simple. You just change one thing at a time. But I do want to talk about some of my favorite supplements that we use, not just to prevent an overgrowth of fungus in the body, but also if you already have it, these supplements can help you with it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called lactic acid yeast. And lactic acid yeast is a foundation product that we use for almost any situation where there's an overgrowth of fungus, candida, yeast, or what we call gut dysbiosis. So your microbiome is not healthy. It promotes healthy gut flora by introducing a special type of yeast, a good yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and it outcompetes Candida. So if you have an overgrowth of, let's say, Candida, and then you introduce the lactic acid yeast, it will kind of, let's say, if they get into a fight, the lactic acid yeast will win. And so we use this very frequently. They're wafers. You have to chew them. I'm not promising you that they taste delicious. Some people tell me they like them, and some people think they're disgusting. If you really don't like it, you can crush it up and mix it into something else. You can slice it up, break it into pieces and swallow it if you have to. If you can't put your big boy or girl pants on and just chew it. The next product I want to talk to you about is called Gut Flora Complex. And this is a combination of great herbs that help to support a healthy intestinal environment and also are antifungal in nature. So it has oregano in it. It has and it's in a capsule so that you're not swallowing straight oregano, which can be very difficult for some people to do. It has something called philodendron and angiographists, which have been traditionally used to cleanse the lower gastrointestinal tract and promote colonization of beneficial um, microbiota. And the philodendron has berberine in it. So a lot of people are familiar with berberine. I actually have a video about berberine. I have a video about angiographists. These are all things that we use, but you're getting everything in one capsule in this product. There's also anise in it. There's other wonderful things in here. The next supplement I want to mention is called Zymex. And Zymex contains enzymes that actually help to digest the cell walls of yeast and fungal biofilms, making your gut environment less hospitable to fungal overgrowth. And we use this in many fungal protocols, Candida, oral thrush, digestive issues that are linked to yeast. And we often use it alongside of lactic acid yeast, with lactic acid yeast being almost like what we call a prebiotic, setting the stage in the gut environment for the probiotics to be able to take hold. Now, anytime we're talking about killing off pathogens, we always need to make sure that we do drainage. Your drainage pathways have to be working. And Spanish Black Radish is a wonderful, very inexpensive drainage support. I talk about it so often because it's just so useful. It has so many different uses, but it drains out your lymph system. It helps drain out dead fungus and yeast and bacteria. It just cleans, it just pushes everything out. And I think it makes sense for everybody to take this, especially because it's so affordable. And then another great drainage for fungus and yeast is garlic. But this particular garlic is enterically coated, which means that it doesn't digest in your stomach, it digests in your small intestine. And that's important because the active component in garlic, which is allicin, can be denatured by your stomach acid. So it's not as effective if it digests in your stomach. The other advantage to it being coated is that you don't really burp it up. Most people do not end up smelling like garlic when they take this product. I've had maybe over all the years I've been using it, I've had like 2 people complain that they smell like garlic, but I take it and I don't think I smell like garlic. I hope I don't. Nobody complained to me about it. The next product I want to talk about, and I think I did a video just on this product because it's so amazing, is called FungDx. And this is a liquid that has antifungal properties. So if you clearly have a fungal infection, you can use this. You can take it by mouth and take the drops, but you can also use it topically. And I have, I think, a video about one of my patients who used it on a fungal toenail that she had for many years, and it was the only thing that worked. So I had also mentioned that in that video that a podiatrist friend of mine sends me his toenail fungus patients to use this product because it works actually better than the pharmaceuticals that are used for toenail fungus. But this can help with any kind of fungus, should be taken with drainage as well. And by the way, on my website, if you just type in the search bar drainage, and I'll do that for you in a minute, you'll see some drainage products come up that you can also choose from. And the last thing I just wanted to mention is this. It's a really great ionic air purifier. So if you do suspect that you have mold in your house, it does help with that. I mean, you have to get rid of the mold. Okay, so I'm not saying this is in place of getting rid of mold, but it does clean the air of mold spores. And also dust and pollen and smoke and fumes and odors and allergens. And it's silent, which I like about it. It cleans a huge area. It's light, it's easy to move around, like you can move it from room to room. You don't have to, there's no maintenance. You just wipe it down once a week. You can even bring it with you when you travel because it's so small and light. And then I was just going to show you if you, oops, sorry. I don't know how to do technology. If you go on my website and put in the topic drainage, you'll see a bunch of drainage products that you can choose from. So always make sure that if you are taking something to help kill off something in your body, like fungus, yeast, mold, bacteria, anything, parasites, you always pair it with drainage. This will prevent also what we call a die-off reaction, which can be very unpleasant. So if you have too much stuff dying and it's releasing gunk into your body, you can feel more symptomatic and sicker. In fact, your symptoms can worsen. It doesn't mean that your health is worsening, but your symptoms can temporarily worsen. So we want to try to avoid that. So that's my video. I hope this information was helpful. I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button if you liked it, because it helps more people to find it. And please subscribe if you haven't already done that. And last and most importantly, please share this video with anyone you know that you think could benefit from the information. Don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter, because I'll send out an email newsletter about this topic almost every video I do. Not everyone, but almost everyone. I will send out a newsletter to you that gives you all the information. Links to the supplements that we talked about will be in the description of this video. I hope to see you again very soon with more important health information. And until then, please stay healthy.